What's up, guys? It's Patricia from tarantulaheaven.com. We have Miss Spidey right here in this very awkward setup right now. She's actually doing like the tarantula pancake thing where they just kind of stretch out. I hope you guys can see that. It's adorable. I love it when she does this. And we also have Ava in the reflection, and behind me, the jealous cat, just kind of course, always being a part of the videos somehow. And so welcome to Tarantula Tuesday. I wanted to share my experience and some really interesting things that I noticed in Spidey's last molt. And so some of you may know this, many of you likely do not, especially if it's the first time watching one of my videos. This is Spidey. She's Tarantula Rosea, and she is really old. I don't know how old because I got her as a full-grown adult. She's been the same size, and I've had her for probably about 8 years now. And so she's probably honestly in her elderly years. And I also believe that due to her being quite inactive in feeding and also activity for most of my time with her. And it's also that her molts have been many, many years apart. So traditionally, Spidey's molts are like 2 to 3 years apart. She's only molted a few times in my care. And geez, I think her last molt was probably 3 to 4 years. So a few weeks ago, she actually did molt again, and it made sense because she was really slowing down, and she wasn't eating for a few months, which is not unusual for Spidey, especially rose hares. They have these very erratic feeding patterns, and Spidey certainly loves to starve herself or fast whenever she feels like it. But she hadn't eaten in a while, and she was definitely due for a molt. So I was thinking maybe she was in pre-molt because it had been definitely over her 2-year period. And so unexpectedly, I saw her making a molting mat. And I was a little bit surprised because traditionally Spidey's molting mats are like really thick. They're beautiful, they're huge. She does a great job. For a spider who doesn't web very much, she does quite a great job on her molting mat. But this molting mat was much smaller, much lighter, and it could be because of her age. Maybe she just doesn't have the energy to go all out like she used to, but it was a different kind of molting mat, and so it was just smaller, lighter, not as many layers. But I noticed that she was starting to get a little bit comfy on it, and I was like, okay, we're gonna molt pretty soon. And it made sense because she was also doing some really weird stuff before this molt. Like she had thrown her she has a moss ball in the back of her tank. She put that in her water dish, and she also tried to put her ping pong ball in the water dish. And so I think she was trying to get these things out of her space and out of her way so that she could make room for her molting mat. And so maybe that was like a sign. But this molt was different. Like it wasn't just the molting mat, but it was also the way that the molt happened. So I've gone through a few molts with Spidey, and generally, I think also due to her age, these molts take like 24 hours. Her last 2 before this one were like 24-hour ordeals. And, you know, guys, if you've ever gone through that with a spider, you know how stressful that is. Like you're freaking out the whole time and you just feel like something's going wrong. Thinking about like, are they stuck? Like, how can I help? Should I intervene? And usually nothing's wrong, especially if it's an elderly spider. That's just how long they take. But this molt happened in about 6 hours. And so I was very confused because like Spidey's older and probably more tired. And so I was really curious about why was it that this molt took so much shorter. Like that's probably the amount of time she used to molt in like 8 years ago when I first got her. So I don't know the answer. I'm actually asking you, do you know, or have you had the experience of a tarantula traditionally having a pattern of taking either a very short time or a very long time molting, and then they have a very opposite experience? Because I can't think of anything that has changed in her environment. I mean, I gave her a full water dish of water, as I always do. Haven't changed her diet. She's been eating cockroaches for years now. Same stuff in her enclosure pretty much as far as substrate and other circumstances. I just don't know. The only thing that I could think of is like something within her changed. And so I was really curious because I was like, what would cause that to happen so much more quickly? Was it just an easier molt, or I really am stumped. I'm not sure, but I actually would love to know if this is like a normal thing that people have witnessed. What do you think that's about? That was just very interesting. I mean, I was relieved because I was preparing for 24 hours of nonstop stress. So I was happy, and I was also just so happy that she got out fine. But yeah, it was just a very different experience. And, you know, I wonder if the malting mat and the thinness of the malting mat meant that she knew that this molt was just going to be different. I don't know. I'm probably thinking way too much into that, but I'm just trying to find possibilities. So I guess I will leave it to you to share your experiences and help me figure this out. And, you know, it could be that it was really nothing. Maybe Spidey just felt like this molt was easier for some reason. But anyway, I'm happy. She's fine. You know, at this age and with the infrequency of her molt, it's always a concerning thing when she goes to molt or when I know it's going to come. So she's looking great. At the moment of this video, it's a few weeks after her molt. She's had her post-molt meal. She'll probably have another one very soon. She's starting to plump up a little bit. She looks super healthy. She looks so beautiful. I really love how she really gets that rose hair look right after the molt. She gets very pink in her midsection, and she's just super vibrant and beautiful. But she's doing really good. She's actually stretching right now, as you can see. She's been hydrating herself, resting a lot, and just been really cute. So anyway, guys, that's the update on Spidey. Another successful molt, and I actually gave the molt to one of the vets that take care of Ava, the jealous cat, because one of the vet techs that give her the fluids at home is getting into taxidermy, and she was very interested in perhaps getting Spidey's molt. So I had told her, I was like, well, I'd love to give it to you when the time comes, but good luck, because Spidey only does this every few years. But little did I know that Spidey was actually getting ready to do it. So she's starting off the early year with some new clothes, and that's very exciting. So the molt is with somebody who greatly appreciates it, and she's doing very well. So anyway, thanks for listening. Let me know what you think about this very random short molt that Spidey had, and I'll talk to you later, guys. Have a good Tarantula Tuesday. Bye.